there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to day 14. No, 15. Day 16. Oh my lord. I'm so sorry. I should have just opened it up to see. Welcome to day 16. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and we'll see what's in here. Okay. Ooh, this is fun. Two items. We have this wood veneer with some sunflowers, and we have a stencil. It is an alphabet stencil, but of course, you know, the letters are not in order, so that's really cool. That's going to be fun to use. All right, I am going to pause, pick photos, and come back. Okay, so I'm going to do a little mixed media on this layout. I have pulled out some close to my heart daisy white paper. I have a piece of white foam board that has been covered in packing tape, and I am using some, it's kind of like blue tape, but it just happens to be red, to go ahead and adhere everything down. And I am putting some clear gesso on it using an old gift card, basically. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want everything to soak right into the paper. I want to have some playtime with it, if you will. And so the gesso is going to create that barrier so that it doesn't just become like a sponge and absorb everything really quickly. I have two photos of myself. These are circa 1974. I am about 11 months old. Actually, I think I am 11 months old in there. So I had to go check the date on the original photos to make sure. These are definitely not the originals. They are scanned, and then a little color correction has been done on them. And then just a little cleanup of the photo based on the age of the photo. I am using some Lindy's Magicals. These are the Shimmers ones. They are from the Tea and Crumpet set. The more purpley one is called Have a Scone Heather. And the other one is called Cheerio Cherry. And originally I tried some of these and I found that the shimmer comes off, but I've tried to give them another chance, and I think the shimmer mostly comes off if they're not saturated enough. Like if you've got a lot of, like a big pile of the pigment and you spray it and it doesn't get wet all the way through, then it definitely comes off. So you saw me there with my paintbrush trying to dab it around a little to move it, the powder, so that it definitely gets saturated, but I'm trying not to blend it because I do want to keep some of the color in it that is a little unusual, like the blues that are peeking out and such. So I'm trying not to mix it like I would a watercolor. You can mix it like a watercolor and then you get a more solid color. But if you want all these little bursts to stay in it, then you don't want to mix it up too much. But using my heat gun and using the paintbrush to move some of the powder around before I sprayed it with water does seem to help. And so not much of it's coming off, and so that's making me happy. So I'm glad I gave them another chance, and I'm being super, super cautious about how much I sprinkle out because that pigment goes a long way. As you can see, it looks like I barely sprinkle anything on there, if you can see it at all, and it gives you a lot of color. So I'm happy with the way that this came out, and I think I'll just be really cautious when I use them to make sure everything is saturated. I do have some spray that you can put over it to seal it if that does become a problem. It's called Kmar spray. I'm not sure. I'll try to put a link down below for it just in case. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I just make sure everything's got plenty of liquid on it, basically. And you can see here I'm again tapping my wet paintbrush now. Originally I had my dry paintbrush moving the powder around before I sprayed it to get it wet, and now that things are wet, I'm just tapping my wet paintbrush on it to kind of move the pigment around a little bit here and there, just to fill in some of the blank areas. So I'm liking how it's coming out so far. I'm going to play with them a little bit more and see what happens before I do a huge investment in them. But I did buy that tea and crumpet set, so I did it on Black Friday when they had 50% off, so I felt like that was a pretty good deal. Okay, I'm pulling out a bit of real old tissue paper, but it's the right color of pinks, and it's got that kind of pinky purple polka dot in it. And so I'm going to pull that out and use that to back my photos. And then I am pulling out the wood veneer plus 2 of the wood veneers pieces from earlier in the month from the Advent calendar. So these other 2 pieces were part of the Advent, they just weren't part of today's. But I thought I'd use those because I really like the big one, but I wanted something to go with it. And I'm keeping my whole layout right down the center. I am also using the stencil, and I pulled out some paper glaze. This little jar of paper glaze was completely dried up. It's brand new, never been opened. The lid was not on it really tight, so I don't know what happened there. So I pulled out my trusty pink carnation one, and which is also a paper glaze brand, which I don't even think you can get them anymore. But I am using it with some of the Ranger opaque white paste, and just doing a little bit of color here and there, so it's kind of got a marbled look, and it's kind of tone on tone with all of those magicals, and I really like the way that it came out. You're going to see it in the close-ups. I toyed around with the idea of putting a whole bunch of stuff vertically, but then it felt like it was just covering up all of the pretty mixed media that was done, and it felt like it was just too much, and it felt like it was not really, it felt really disjointed the way it is right now on my layout. So yeah, kind of moving things around, trying to figure that out, and place things where I think they're going to work well. So I kept this little one to the left hand side with just the little label, so that's going to have the date on it at some point. I have not actually dated it yet, but I will do that. I just wanted to go and confirm the date beforehand, but I'm 11 months old in this photo, I do know that, and I'm just learning to walk. So that's basically what this is about. Trying to use these older photos just to kind of get those in the album, and not just in the old magnetic style album that, you know, everything gets yellowed in, which is why we had to do some photo correction. And since they're not my original photos and I have them digitally, I'm not too worried about these ones and adding glue to the back or anything like that. So I figure they've lasted this long in the old style album, and now that they're digitally restored, I can keep them that way, and then they can go into my album however I like, right? And I don't have to worry about it too much. Okay, so I have pulled out some ephemera. This piece that says lovely is from the Spectrum Sherbert, the warm colors. Yeah, the warm set. And the other 2 pieces are from an old Kaiser Craft. The other labels, the one that says So Blessed, and then the one on the left hand side. And then the little pink one at the top, I have no idea where that came from. It's just in my stash of labels. So I'm liking how that's coming out. I did have somebody ask me about where this little bin that my labels are in. I got it on Amazon. It's like it has a larger one for cotton balls, and this one's supposed to be for like Q-tips, but it's no longer available. So I don't know if there's a replacement available for it or not, but that's where I got it from. So I do think this needs a little bit of a frame, so I did trim the edges off, and I am giving it a pink framework all the way around the outside using this older 5th and Monaco paper. I'm not bothering to get it because I feel like it's been in my stash for a long time, and I do have a lot of pink paper, so I'm not too worried about it. And then I am using this rose-colored pink Dilutions spray to just sprinkle a little bit of splatter on. And I'm thinking I'll call it done once I get this little bit of blending around the outside, just to kind of soften things up. But I am going to go back in and add a title that says 11 months, and I am going to go back in and add some sequins. right down the center. So you're going to see that here in just a moment. While I do that, I am working on my advent calendar stuff today, and I have the even days. MK has the odd days, but I am also playing along with Woodgrain and Winter on during this week, which happens to be on all the odd days. So I've got a video every day for you this week, and I do want to encourage you to go and check out MK's channel to see what she's doing on the advent calendar on the odd days, and then actually we both are doing Woodgrain and Winter, so you're going to see that also. So I just used the same magicals, sprayed them down on a piece of scrap paper. Didn't care if they soaked right in because I only need a tiny bit of it to do the 11 and the MOS for months, and that's going to be my title. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that right down on the wood veneer. I think it's super cute, and it's a great landing place for my title. And I'm just using my liquid glue to hold everything in place. And then you can see this bin of sequins off to the side. They are really large sequins. Some of them are square, some of them are circles, but there are some smaller ones that are up higher in the bin where they're a little bit off camera. So some of them are these kind of clear iridescent looking ones, and that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the clear iridescent ones rather than the in-your-face pink ones. And I think they're going to go great and add just a little bit of detail to this layout. Okay, I'm liking how that's coming together, and it's just giving you a nice little flow for your eye to go straight down the page. And then I am going to link up the products that I'm using today down below, specifically the mixed media stuff, because most of the other stuff is just from my stash. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those down below. And I hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season. I will be back again tomorrow with another one. As I mentioned, you can see here the glue has not dried on my sequins. I did this right before taking the still shots. So the glue will dry and it will be transparent, rest assured, even though it is not transparent at this point in time. Thanks again for watching. I will see you guys again tomorrow with another one. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.